Hello and welcome to the special broadcast. My name is Vineet Malhotra, and today is a very special one. We have with us a former India great, a spinning legend, Murali Kartik on the show. Murali, thank you so much. You're looking great, always fit and smiling, enthusiastic and exuberant as ever. I'm going to start off with a very general question. What is keeping you busy? I see you commenting all the time. You're of course keeping those reins alive when it comes to having the most important opinion when it comes to cricket in our country. Tell me what's up with you these days.
I've just been, firstly, Vineet, I'd like to say thanks for having me on the show. Um, I You use some adjectives. I don't think they go with me, if I'm being honest. I was a hardworking cricketer. That's all I was. Secondly, coming back to what you asked me about, what am I up to? I've just been chilling. I think the last 1 month I've just been chilling because from the start of Jan till the end of May, it was quite hectic. Hectic because we like it. Extremely grateful for what I do. You mentioned the word commentating, and that's what I've done the last 10 years from the time I quit playing the game, and been associated with international cricket right through. So that's what keeps me busy. If you ask me what about the work that I do. Apart from that, I enjoy a lot of golf. I enjoy a lot of reading, and I love watching the OTT space because they have some wonderful stuff. So, but the last month and a bit, I've just been at home, which has been really welcome.
So, okay, let me in fact take a leaf out of what you only just said, that you've obviously, been spending a lot of time honing your golf skills, and I know you play from time to time. The other news related to that thought is that now you have a cricketer at the helm of affairs. When you talk about professional golf in India, the PGTI, Kapil Dev is now at the helm of affairs. How much do you think that's going to change the game of golf? Because here you have someone who's pretty much like you when it comes to fitness and when it comes to discipline, uh, taking care of a sport which perhaps could improve.
See, what happens in India is that it's like any other country. You talk about England, they love football. You talk about uh, America, they love their football again. Australia love their rugby, New Zealand love their rugby. So there are other sports which actually take second stage, or they don't take center stage. In India, cricket takes center stage. And when you talk about a legend or a great of the game, he's one. So I feel if any sports person from any walk of life can help other sports, can enhance the image of any other sport, because what happens is that the other sports do languish in India. You talk about some of the golfers that play the game in India, they are outstanding. What are they lacking? They're lacking want of funds. They're lacking a tour which has enough money, because we need in cricket from a young age, from the time you start playing representative cricket, you're taken care of. Maybe the match fees are, the match emoluments are lower till the time you reach a certain stage. But at least you're traveling, your food, your per diems, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You don't shell out anything from your pocket. Think about golf. Since you mentioned golf and you asked about golf, if I just stick to golf, those guys have to do everything on their own. The equipment is expensive, the ball is expensive, and for them to travel, they can't be traveling by train, lugging that big luggage. If they have to travel by air, then that means that apart from your 15 kilos or whatever that is allowed, you can't carry your kit. So there is a lot of money involved. So what happens is that there are lots of promising, good, wonderful golfers lost to the game, because at the end of the day, when you look at your bank balance and it's dwindling, it's not going to keep you in the game. So many people fall out of line. So I just hope, and I'm just praying that somebody of Kapil Paji's stature can actually, and it that is happening, because the tour purse has gone up in the last 2 or 3 years, and I only want to see more, because as I said, the quality golfers, and there are so many of them waiting in the pipeline as well, they're all going to let go if they don't see anything. At the end of the day, कहते हैं ना, पापी पेट का भी सवाल है. So you can't just be doing something which is not going to get you anything. So I just hope and pray, and that that all the other sports, not just golf alone, because at the end of the day, you need infrastructure, you need facilities, you need. Why is cricket thriving in India? Yes, because lots of people love it. The people love it, then the sponsors come in. And the sponsors come in, everybody wants to play the game. Why is it now that at one stage for a decade like mine, for all that we wanted to do was just play test cricket? For us, representing India meant playing test cricket, even though they were one days. Test cricket was the pinnacle. Right now, with all the franchise cricket and all the other money ball games, all the parents also want to see their kids playing that. Everybody wants to be part of the IPL because you're taken care of life.
Mhm.
So what does that mean? That means that money is needed for a sport to survive, not just survive, thrive as well.
Mhm.
And sport can't thrive and survive without broadcasters, without the sponsors predominantly, because it all is a package. So Paji being at the helm of golf, and I'm only hoping that Indian golf is going to soar and have enough sponsors.
Mhm. I'm going off script now. You've evoked some very different thoughts in the statements that you have made, that league cricket is becoming the norm of the nation. You had the IPL in the beginning, which started in 2007, after India's victory in the T20 World Cup in South Africa. Of course, IPL was blamed for a number of problems, including the downfall of domestic cricket. I want a assessment from you whether that's true or not. But now you have other leagues, state leagues, only that are popping up, which are also likely to accommodate and assimilate a lot of the players who could not even make it into the IPL. Is that becoming a problem for domestic cricket?
Look, I look at things in a slightly different way. Um, Thankfully, it's not a big problem in India because it's a bigger problem in other parts of the world. And I'll give you a simple analogy. Say if you have a syrup, and the syrup is supposed to be had that way. If you put a lot of water in it, you're going to dilute the taste out of it. Or I'm just saying, whatever, whether you have rasna or whatever you want to have. I'm just saying there is a certain concoction which is needed, and then you pour a certain amount of water, and that's what makes a glass to drink. But if you keep pouring water, there is only water left. It just completely dilutes everything. When you think of a country like Sri Lanka, which was so strong in cricket, just think of the days when they were a strong side. They
Absolutely.
had only that many teams playing first class cricket. You think of Australia. Why has Australia always been a great side, a gun side? Because Australia is a vast country. I think you can put all the cricketing nations, and it'll still Australia will be bigger. They only have that many state sides, which means that the cream always rises to the top. It's always the best. If you keep making so many divisions in it, it's not going to enhance the quality. It's not going to bring the cream to the top. And I sometimes, when this thing of so many state sides happen, you look at it, you look at the kind of records we have in India now too. There are so many things which are not needed. There are some numbers which I don't even know whether the selectors consider them, because you're looking for quality runs. You're looking for runs in Irani Trophy. You're looking for runs against a gun side, a gun bowling side. You're looking wickets against a gun batting side, runs against a gun bowling side. That is what you're looking for. But if you're making it, if there are going to be too many fragments, it doesn't help. Coming back to league cricket, I just feel that it's everybody sees something else apart from cricket there. So it's a very different situation.
Right. When you say everybody sees something different apart from cricket there, is it the money factor? Is it security
Hundred
or
percent,
the love for sport?
100%. If it was the love for sport, then why isn't it that we are doing a lot more to do? It's only in India that we've started doing, and England and Australia for taking care of Test cricket. Otherwise, you look at every place. I'm not just why restricted to India. You go to every part of the world. There is a European Premier League. There is a CPL. There is a GT20. There is this. There is that. It's only all about T20, T10 cricket happening in Abu Dhabi. I hope there is no T5 and T2.5 post that. We are getting too bored, only 2.5 hours to be bowled. So, so if that was the case, then for me, still, people can call me old fashioned or romantic. just the joy and thrill of waking up to watch India play Australia in Australia, or Australia play them in India, or watching cricket in England. It's just wonderful. South Africa, think of this great South African side post apartheid. They were just wonderful. They just went and beat teams. They were one of the best travelers.
Yeah.
So that is what uh, makes me wake up and watch cricket. For me, right now, there are every league. There is every city has got a league. It's fine. I'm not begrudging anything. It's fine, but it's just that what is it doing? It's so obviously people are seeing money there rather than anything else.
Only the Olympics also just concluded, and not so on a bright note for India. We were in the 70th position, if I'm not wrong. Uh, there has been obviously a lot of back and forth thinking, even in social media, that we are a one-trick pony. We are a one-sport nation, and that is the reason, despite having a population of 1.4 billion, we've not been able to be successful in Olympics. What's your take on this? And should cricket be blamed for this alone? Obviously not.
Uh, Look, this has been the case for a very long time, and again goes back to what I was saying before you arrived at this question. Cricket, yes, it is. Everybody loves cricket in India. It's tickled everybody's curiosity, so to say, and hence cricket has the money. And because of the fact that there is money and people love the sport, there are a lot many more people playing a sport which is easily accessible as well. When look, growing up, we all played in gullies and colonies and whatever. That's all you need, and then you hone your skills, whatever. I'm just saying, but at least there is a picture. You have idols. You have a goal at the end of it. You think of the other sports. Do they have the money? You tell me. You cover sports more than I do. You know the nitty gritty of it. I'll put a counter question. Does any federation have the kind of funds which are required to create sports people? You said my population of 1.5 billion means that there are more problems. You're not picking from 10. You're picking from 1.5 or whatever the proportion is to each sport. So the problem is even more. So if you're thinking of tennis, does the tennis association have the kind of funds to unearth talent from everywhere? Or I look, I'm not into the other sports. All I'm saying is that everybody blames cricket and cricketers, which is unfortunate. As I said, that is something which a nation loves. You can't begrudge England cricketers of England footballers to say that, oh, the whole of England loves football. That's the way it is. Brazil people love football. How can you? That's what it is. That's what tickles their fancy. So you can't blame a certain sport. You have to ask other things, other people, what have they done to 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 take your sport up to speed? And I think that's the reason why I'm asking you this counter question. Do other sports in India have the kind of wherewithal? Because that's what's going to produce talent. That's what's going to bring a kid into a sport. Why does everybody want to play cricket? Okay, 100 people might play cricket. There are only 10 who are going to rise to the top, but at least those 100 people want to play cricket. You've got a bigger pool playing cricket, and then the best come to the top. So is it happening? I can give you so many examples of so many players who played a sport, or so many friends of mine who played a sport but never took it seriously because they couldn't see anything going forward, and they've all moved away and they started studying or doing other things.
Right. But a lot of people say that cricket has done well because it's privately managed. In all the other sports, you've got the government sticking one leg in, and that is the reason why there are so many problems.
Look, I don't know anything about it, to be very honest.
Hmm.
But if you're looking at it that way, then you ask private people to handle many sports. But again, is it going to is golf privately managed? Is golf handled by the government? No.
Hmm. Good
I'm
point.
I'm asking you a question. Is
Yeah, no, that's a good.
Yeah, Eh, yeah. Look, there are so many sports. If you look into it, they might be handled not by the guy. So you can't blame the government for it. I just feel that sometimes what people take up, what people like, is very different. So then the sponsors also go towards a game which has got more eyeballs, which is going to give them return on investment. Whereas maybe in other countries, there are other countries where, like say, people will always bring China into it. Maybe the structure is completely different. They start unearthing talent from a very, very young age.
Mhm.
And they've got programs. And it's, I think, if memory serves me right, every Olympics you only hear China at the top, isn't
True.
it?
Yeah,
And maybe USA a close second or something like that.
correct.
It's been a constant. It's been a constant.
Yeah. Murli, what do you think about the current team? We've just received a high. We won the T20 World Cup. We were in fact desperate for an ICC trophy, and Rohit Sharma has made that dream come true. But a lot of experts and a lot of people, in the audience felt that, the competition steadily and over the years when it comes to, the game of cricket has come down. If you compare it with what existed when you were playing in the early 2000s and the 2010s, what's your take on that?
Look, again, we've always said don't compare eras. Again, I'll go back to what I said just before. You think of so many sides which are very strong sides. You think of Sri Lanka, which was such a strong side. You think of New West Indies, which has been a champion side over so many years. That was the reason many of us took to cricket. It was seeing the great West Indies teams of the past and the great West Indian cricketers. You think of South Africa now. Can you imagine a country where your test team was the fourth team and they prioritized SAT20? And that's why it's gone from the days of them traveling everywhere and beating England in England, Australia in Australia, and then to a stage or state where SAT20 was prioritized more than a test tour. So it's a tough one. Again, as I said, lots of things have been diluted, we need. So how do you compare that? How do you compare the change of interests, if I may put it that way? So
Mhm.
today you like Carnatic music, tomorrow suddenly you start liking ghazals or reggae or rap. People have started liking different things. So the importance or the what should I say, interests have been trained towards something else. So it's a tough one. Again, you think of the great spinners of the past. They were wonderful spinners, but then that steadily has also declined, isn't it? In India, you think of all the great spinners of the past,
Yeah.
and now everybody says that the spin cupboard is bare. And I'm not talking about people who come and bowl slowly. But again, the shorter format has made sure that they don't learn it the right way. They don't learn it from the best, and they don't learn it the right way. So
Mhm.
there are so many things which are associated. You think about the great quality fast bowlers of past. Every team had so many, and
Mhm.
everybody was 150 plus. I can't think of Brett Lee falling below 150 even on his last legs. Shoaib Akhtar, as quick as he was, he just always wanted to bowl fast. You think of the fast bowlers from West Indies. And now if somebody bowls 142, 143, 145, he's suddenly going, oh wow, man, he's quick. So lots of things have changed. That's why I said whether it's whatever, it's a tough place to actually compare. It's actually apples and oranges right now.
Murli, what has been your fondest memory of your incredible career? I still remember, in 2007, if I'm not wrong, you were part of a studio panel, and that's the time when you got selected. And I think I was the host, or perhaps somebody else was, and you got that call, and it was one of the most surreal moments in my career, where a sitting presenter or a guest gets a call by the captain to come and play for the team. How would you describe those days for you? What is surreal for you? They was very surreal for me.
2006, it was just come back from a county stint. I think I was working for Neo, and I was a contracted cricketer for India. So I'd taken permission to work. It was the India Australia series as well, 2006, and I was working. I think Venkat and Michael Slater in the studio
Yeah,
when I got that news. Look, it's interesting because I had not played cricket for a while, and it was after the third ODI. But again, for me, Vineet, what has been something which I've always cherished is in my 26 years of playing the game at representative level. I started playing for Tamil Nadu at the age of 12 and I finished playing at the age of 38 in 2014. Um, for me, it's always been people will talk about achievements and people will talk about things which you achieved or things which teams achieved. I feel playing for my stateside railways for 20 years, an unfancied side with just simple people who wanted to work hard and play well, but more than play hard, play well. I think those 20 years stood out a lot for me. That team, that bonding, the fact that you were there for one another when you had no resources compared to other sides, when you traveled by train, whilst the others were traveling by flights. And so many times we have stayed in retiring rooms and the dormitories that guys stayed in with just 2 or 3 shared toilets. It teaches you a lot in life. So I think those 20 years of that bonding and banter, I think I'll always cherish. Also winning Ranji Trophy with that side twice and winning Irani Trophy twice with that side and also the one-day comp. I think those are big memories. Everybody's going to say India and other things. No. For me, those 20 years of making some good friendships, people who missed out, some really good cricketers who played alongside me but couldn't play for India. I think those are memories which I have. And again, apart from that, all the friends that you've made. Again, you ask any cricketer, you do miss the sport. Of course, you do. You miss the sport because that's what you've done from the time you've had your senses, from the time you've woken up. But at the end of the day, you miss all those friendships. The fact that you traveled and you did so many things. You were in the bunker together. And I always tell people, everybody talks about the huddle, and it's just my symbolic way of saying I've got your back. So I think that is something which will always be there with me. That is what stands out for me in my career.
That's wonderful, Murali. And uh, the Indian team is, of course, going through some new beginnings of sorts. We have a new coach in Gautam Gambhir, who's considered to be, a firebrand in his own right. What direction do you see the team going under his guidance? Because obviously Gautam, has been instrumental. You've played together for KKR, if I'm not wrong. What does he bring to the table?
No, we played together for India and lots of A tours and played against him a lot. Look,
Yeah,
I always feel that in any side, in any international side, or for that matter, any side, it's a it's a it's a long marathon, isn't it? It's a relay marathon. So you have a coach and he passes on the baton. There is a direction which a side has taken under one coach, successful or not successful. And again, I would say that India, in spite of not having won that many ICC titles, we had one recently. We were missing out for the last so many years. I think we have had great runs under Ravi Bhai. We've had a great run under Rahul Bhai. Even before that, when Anil was there for a short period of time, I
yeah,
think 2 or 3 years, India has always been a very strong side. And also, what happens is that sometimes a coach, it again depends. We always say right place at the right time. Ravi Bhai was a very different type of a coach. He was a big motivator. He would make you feel pumped up and charged up, and that is what you need sometimes, isn't it? Everybody has got the skills. It's sometimes Hanuman had the skill, but he always needed to be told how strong he was, isn't it? So there are times where you need to be told how good you are because you start doubting yourself. And I think Ravi Bhai's stint was outstanding. Rahul Bhai is very different. He's a man who leads by example and who does things in a very different way. And you look at what they have managed to achieve. It's about the team culture right now. What Rohit and Rahul have managed to achieve is anybody walking into the side feels very welcome. And I always believed in this. You need to be wanted in that side. You need to know when you walk into that dressing room with so many stars and big players that you have a corner for yourself as well. You shouldn't feel in awe of it because it's not the bigger stars who are going to play every day, in the sense that it's 11 or a 15 which makes the side. It's not just 3 or 4 or 5 superstars at the side. So you need to feel strong about it. And I think that's what Rohit and Rahul have done. You look at how all the young players and you have to give the credit to BCCI as well, everybody around. I think they've been instrumental in creating that atmosphere. You look at the way all the young players gravitate towards the skipper or the coach, and I think that speaks volumes. You're not afraid, you're not intimidated or thinking, oh, this is Rohit Sharma, who's been a white ball giant for India for such a long time, or he's the captain of the side, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going there. You look at all the young players, it's a very comfortable atmosphere. Also, you have to remember that you've got former captains and another great in the side, which is Virat. He's going through a different time because he's been a champion player for so many years, and now he's not at the helm of it. He's doing different things. He's got a very different role in the side. You've got wonderful players like Bumrah. So it's a great side. So how you manage it with the new players coming in, because again, you look at T20s, there are different players. One days there are different players. The pandemic also threw in lots of players because teams couldn't travel or somebody got unwell and you had to be replaced. So it's a question of managing. And right now, that's the task which Gauti has. It's building on what India has achieved, what India has managed to do, because we've always got the resources and we've always got the talent. In spite of so many sides playing, you still know who the top players are. You look at the kind of batters that are coming out. You look at the kind of fast bowlers and seam bowlers being produced. I still hope that there are more spinners and quality spinners coming forward. But I feel for Gautam going forward, it's been a strong baton which has been passed. It's about holding on tight to it with it and see what are the commonalities which you would like to take forward. Everybody's got his own ideas. Everybody's got a there might be four left arm spinners in the side, but all of them bowl differently and think differently. There might be four seamers in the side, all of them think differently and bowl differently, but they're called seamers. So for me, as a coach, it's about taking forward whatever good, because there's no point in undoing all the good that is done before, and stamp your own style of coaching or leadership or man managing or whatever. And I think that's what Gauti needs to do. He's that will to win and the will to strive has always been part of Gauti. He's a nuggety, tough character. I'm hoping that he will want that from everyone, and sometimes you're not going to get it from everyone. So it's about managing all those things.
Murli, do you see yourself sometime in the future, coaching the Indian team? Is that something that you aspire to, or if given an opportunity, you would love to?
Look, it's not an easy job, Vineet. I already mentor young kids because I feel, again, the modern day kids of today want everything very quickly. They want everything very fast because it's a world of social media. It's a world of instant gratification. So they feel that they are as good as someone else. And that's not the case. Uh, if I didn't get something, that was maybe because I was not good enough. There's no victim mentality. So you want those kids to be away from that sort of thought process, because then it actually makes them quite depressing, or they get depressed quite fast. With regards to coaching, again, as I said, I help anyone who comes to me. I To answer your question, Indian team is something too far. I've not even thought about it because I enjoy my broadcasting and I enjoy talking about the game, which I've been blessed to do from the time I stopped playing the game. But I would like to take small strides in terms of being with sides and handling players. Because again, as I said, I come from a very different era. You have to be up to date with what the modern day cricketers think, or the modern day cricket fields, or modern day cricketer, sorry, fields. So you need to be up to date. So I would like to take small steps, baby steps. I already do, because when you're spending one-to-one time with somebody, you understand how they think and how they feel. But a team is very different. So uh, I have not even looked that far. I don't think of Indian team. As I said, I'd like to take small steps with whatever side being there with them, and hopefully help them. That's the most important thing. I don't have big goals towards being a coach of the India side or anything. No.
Murali, you're somebody I've always admired because you always speak your mind, you always speak your heart. And what you see is what you get with you. And that's incredibly rare, not only in today's time, but in every time. I really appreciate you took out the time, you spoke to us, you expressed a lot, which is, of course, gold to us. Thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with me. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Vinny.
Just